Well, hello there. It's 11:26 a.m. It is January 25th. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone. Now, Thursday is a good day for business. I was really happy on Thursdays because not only was that a business day in my mind, because I kind of follow this little pattern of like the significance of different days of the week. But Thursday is the day that's like before Friday, and I would think about Friday and getting off from work and my weekend. But mind you, I didn't always have that mindset because I would say when I was younger, I used to love going to work every day. Like I loved going to work, and I think it's because Maria's never really had a whole big like a big active life or whatever. But I was always very happy about being able to perform tasks and doing them well, right? And then, of course, then the demoralizing bullying would go on, and blah, 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 which kind of just made things bad. But I really did start off enjoying work. But then, when I started, like, wanting to sidestep it, it just got to be where it's like, I need to have something to look forward to. And I always, look forward to the weekend after that. And sometimes, I didn't have anything major planned, but I just knew that I was going to be away from the snide remarks, the bullying, somebody wanting to like try to snub you because they can't deal with looking at you, blah 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 blah. I've dealt with that. So, work is not always easy. I know a lot of people are dealing with that right now. Maybe they're not happy with their work, and sometimes they don't always have the best bosses, and they're getting bullied and they're dealing with a lot of issues. So those weekends are really important. So hopefully, today's Thursday, you guys can think of something that you want to do on Friday. Friday should be a big day, okay? Really, it should be, because it's like the last day. Not for everybody, but I'm talking about the people who work the 5-day week or whatever. You can think about what you're going to do when you get off. And it's a good time for your family. If you have a family, you can spend time with them, make dinner, play a game, do something silly. I used to love it when we would have power outages. That was always fun. You know what I mean? Even though I couldn't stand my siblings or whatever, it was fun, like just sitting around with a flashlight, in the dark and just making up imaginary games. It's very enjoyable. And just let yourself relax, unwind. It's your time. And then on Saturday, you can do something exciting. Maybe pick up some of your hobbies that you used to do. Enjoy going out shopping. Go get some food. Make a meal for your family, and Sunday you can just like hang out and just do nothing or something. But whatever, it doesn't have to be in that order. But make sure you take care of yourself because it's like you guys face a lot. Anyway, so I was getting some intuitive messages, and I understand that a lot of people do want this issue released and stuff like that. I don't believe that. I believe there might have been another clone who realized that they were a clone. I can't remember this person's name. For some reason, like the name Marshall is coming up. But anyway, I think it's so people are becoming aware of this issue. It's just never something that's been blown out, like coverage or anything like that. I get the feeling that people who are in positions of power in this country do not have an issue with this topic being released, and that's cool. Whatever happens at this point, I'm literally playing everything by ear. Every day is like, for me, I'm like, wonder what today brings. I have no idea, so I guess I'll just keep working on my son's hat that I'm knitting for him, and then like trying to get my mood up to work on content or whatever. But I'm literally playing every day by ear because I don't know. There's certain things I have no control over. I don't know exactly all this what's going on, the entanglements and all this other stuff. So I have an idea, but it's like it can be overwhelming for me to focus on. So it's just like right now I'm just kind of hanging out there. But I do get the feeling that they're fine with this issue being released. I guess that's cool. Like I said, most people know. They know I'm somebody who just kind of like, I'm kind of a weirdo, meaning like, Maria's a clone. She dresses a little different. She acts different. She's not a stereotypical African American. Blah 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 blah. She's an odd one, okay? And I think people get that. I'm not a threat to anyone. People tend to be relaxed around me. It's not that big of a deal. Um, Also, I get the message in my mind that you know, the celebrity soul tribe that I do have, they seem to know good things about me. And I'm sure, you know, everybody has, you know, a past that they're not like proud of. You know, I too have, because people perceive me to be like little Miss Goody Two Shoes, like I never did anything wrong. You know, I think when I was younger, I did a lot of things that you know, I'm not proud of. I think everybody has. But a lot of it was the fact that I was learning, you know, I was learning things. And, you know, just like everyone else, like you get in weird relationships, you do stupid stuff. You know, I used to do really stupid stuff, okay? Just stupid stuff, you know, that you were, was probably like when I was talking about, you know, like when I used to go and buy weed, like, you know, when it was illegal or whatever. But really, okay, when I really think about it, compared to a lot of other people, my little things that I did really aren't that big of a deal. Okay, most of the stuff I did was just kind of dorky, nerdy, but still bad. You know, at the end of the day. But you know, I don't know. I mean, I guess I do have high standards. A lot of it is because obviously, when I think about it in terms of reincarnation, I know I've lived several times, and then also, you know, I do think that. You know, I guess I do have the ability to think in a form of order. You know what I mean? Because I guess I do place certain things sacred, and I think there's a lot of people who are trying to understand like what is it that I view as sacred? Um, what is it that makes my standards higher than other people? I guess it's because I do understand that there's a purpose to everything, right? You know, so I do respect other people's lives, even though, you know, they may not be like myself. I understand that they're here for a reason. They're here for their own karmic debt or whatever they have to go through, and they have the right to be here. And you know, I don't want to interfere with their ability to live. They're here for a special reason, whatever that reason may be. It may have nothing to do with me, but they have to live out their life, and I don't want to obstruct that in any way. So that's one thing. Also, I do believe that you know relationships should be sacred, and what I mean by that, so one of the reasons why you know this issue of me, the whole cloning, the fake family, the setups, the what do you call it, the informants, you know, that were supposed to be my quote unquote friends, right? The reason why this is like devastating to me is because I inherently know that family is supposed to be your support system. I inherently know that that ideally you should have love for your family. Okay, I know these things. Okay, it comes natural to me. I fully understand. This is one of the reasons why you know some people they might do something to another person and they don't understand why that person is just like you know blown away. They're hurt. They're crushed. They can't deal with it. It's something they can't cope with, right? Because the person who the offender who did this doesn't have the same view as this other person. They don't believe that. They don't, you know, to their as in their family unit, they might look at that the person that they hurt as like some sort of commodity or something, and that's it. They don't think of this person as a human being. They don't think of this person as a human being at all. It is there for a specific function. So when you deal with things like betrayal, you know, it's very painful. So when I go into relationships, I understand there's you know I believe that there's choice and there's chance and there's choice, right? You know, it just happened by chance that I was raised in that family, okay? But I have a choice to uh, who I choose to surround myself with, okay? At this point, and you know, I want to make sure that when I have friendships, relationships, whatever, that they are sacred, right? Like I understand that, you know, like for example, if I meet a friend, right? Let's just say I met this really cool chick, right? And we were like becoming quick besties, right? It would be understood that, you know, there is no betrayal. You know, like I expect this person to um, to be able to confide in me and I can confide in her. And there is no, I'm going to tell Maria's business, that sort of thing, you know. And some people don't understand that when you're when a friend is somebody you're supposed to trust. They don't understand that. So they don't understand why uh, when they offend you, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why are you getting so offended? Why do you feel the need to sever ties with me after, you know, just because of this? Because this is what the foundation of a relationship or a friendship is supposed to be. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to be a part of my support system in life. That's what it is. Okay, you're supposed to help build me up. You're supposed to care about my goals. You don't work in opposition to them, right? So some people understand this because they are empathetic. They understand what's good for the human soul naturally, and then there's some people who they don't feel those things, and that would be like in that narcissistic category that I'm talking about. They don't get it. You know what I mean? So those are the things that I do. I hold certain things in high regard, and I make sure that I do not defile them. You know, and I'm adamant about that sort of thing. You know what I mean? So like, let's just say, for example, you know, I'm in the middle. I had two friends, right? And now we were like this great like threesome. We were always hanging out. You know, we were like buddy buddies. All three of us had this great relationship. And then all of a sudden, these two of my two friends are starting to bicker and starting to kind of like hate each other. And of course, they're going to try to pull you into it, right? Well, here's the thing: in that sort of situation, you know, there might be some sort of heartfelt allegiance that you have for both people, and that could be very conflicting. But you understand this is not a time to take sides. You know what I mean? It's not a time to take sides. You know what I mean? And I would probably just tell this person, you know what? Um, you guys are both my friends, and I understand this is your issue, and I'm not going to get involved in it. So like when this girl, let's just say for example, her name is Sally. Sally starts talking about Gail, right? And you know, I'm just going to say, look, you know, we're both friends, and I'm not going to get in the middle of it. There you go. You know what I mean? I try very hard to make sure that I find positive resolutions to issues, and I will always keep my relationship, my friendship with my friend, my imaginary girlfriend I met, you know, on the up and up. And I don't ever want to ever put doubt in my imaginary friend's mind that she can't trust me. I always want to make sure that I have integrity towards that friend at all times because I'm that person's support system. I am not there to destroy that. You know, I understand these things. You know what I mean? For some people, it's not because, like I said, some people they are around people for certain reasons. You know what I mean? Because they're in it for themselves, and that's just how it is. And sadly, we do live in a what do you call it? We do have a monetary system. Like you have to have money to survive, and that's the sad part about it. This is, you know, my feeling is we have to have money. We have to. Okay, everybody has to make a living, whatever. But the sad part is sometimes money gets in the way of having those sacred relationships. It's really sad. You know what I mean? It is very very sad. But you know, a lot of people just use their kids for like you know, like I had mentioned a story about me living in this particular neighborhood and how you know these people would be like talking about they had kids, they were on welfare, they would get more money if they had this other kid. And really, when you think about it, you do the math, you can understand that you know having kids just to get welfare or whatever is really just really a liability. Okay, but this is the mentality of certain people, and it's sad, right? Just desperate people who are just trying to hang on every day, right? But you know, um, but the actual concern and love that people should have, okay, to have a real good family structure, a lot of people just have no concept of that. And sadly, I was in a family like that. You know what I mean? And it's you know it's disturbing, but that's the way it is. You know, and I'm a very sincere person. Okay, like I'm over sincere. You know what I mean? I want to be somebody who keeps their word. You know, and I feel bad when I can't. Right? Like you know, I do. I have a conscience. Okay, I have a conscience. You know, and I'm just always been that way. You know what I mean? And like I said, you know, I did make mistakes when I was younger, but you know, I learned from them, you know. But yeah, I have. It's my high standards. It's my ability to to be trustworthy. You know what I mean? And have, sacred friendships. That's what I am. A sincere person. Anyway, the other message that I got is that, I do realize that the prince, in one of his lives, I don't know if he was gay in his last life as the prince. Something, I don't know, maybe he was. He kind of looks kind of a little bit effeminate in the picture that I did see him in, whatever, you know what I mean? I guess, like I said, he started off as a woman in Egypt, and he's probably been through several lives before he got to the prince. I'm talking about myself, but it's really weird talking about that way. But anyway, yeah, I guess so. But I do believe that he was only that way so that he was with his soulmate. You know what I mean? I don't believe he had I don't think he was somebody who had strong sexual desires to be gay. It was just more like, well, I got this person here and I feel drawn to this person, and it's a past life thing. So anyway, and even if he was that way, I mean, it is what it is. Let's see here. Oh, I do write a newsletter that I did post on my Patreon channel, and I want more content. I didn't really put a whole lot of stuff into this particular newsletter, mainly because there's issues going on with my Patreon account. But I do enjoy writing, and there's certain ideas and thoughts that I want to be able to communicate, like quarterly, quarterly, and talk about different things. I want to add things like recipes. I would like to do interviews with people in the future. I think one of my articles that I want to do is I can't even really pronounce this word, feng shui. I do think that there's a lot of benefit in that. So I did want to talk to somebody who was considered an expert and that sort of stuff, because I want to be able to do different forms of what do you call it, videos, different styles of videos. I did mention I want to do a stop animation, at least one. I do want to be able to interview people. I do want to expand my horizons when it comes to making videos. I'd like to get better camera equipment, that sort of stuff, and know what exists out there. Like I'm kind of in the dark when it comes to what's the best kind of microphone to use and that sort of stuff. And I've done a little bit of research on it here and there, but right now I don't have any money, so it is what it is. Well, I don't have any money for that anyway. What else do I want to talk about? So yeah, I did talk about the newsletter, but I think I kept this last newsletter for up to 4 pages. I think it had to, but I was hoping that I could go for a 6-pager. But like I said, I was being cautious because I know there's some problems right now, and I didn't really write a whole lot that I wanted to write. But hopefully, I'm hoping that in the next quarter I will be able to do that, because I really do enjoy writing. I mean, I like writing. I like expressing myself. I think one of the things that my perps didn't understand about me is that expression is a positive thing. At least it is for my race, okay? At least it is for my race, okay? Expression is a good thing, and there's different ways of doing that. You can express yourself through writing. You can express yourself through art. You can express yourself through clothing. You can express yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's quite healthy. It's very liberating. It feels good, and it brings peace to your soul. Okay, sometimes people feel repressed, and it's repression. It's repression that makes people act out in other ways. When people feel like they're limited and they're caught in a box and they're frustrated, they're going to act it out in another way. You know what I mean? Because they're not feeling balanced. I believe expression provides balance. You know what I mean? So anyway, I know there's a lot of talk about me on social media, and people are talking about me people really want me into politics. They really want me into politics. I've never liked that arena. Never liked that arena. I'm just trying to live according to what I believe, and which is upholding certain things as sacred. You know what I mean? Speaking of, I was thinking about, I never grew up uber patriotic. Some people are, you know how things were before. I would say around, ever since I was a kid, I remember people were like really uber patriotic. Meaning, like, you know, if you were one of those religions that didn't stand up and salute the flag, people kind of look at you funny or whatever. You had to explain yourself, and then they would look at you with a side eyeball like you didn't love this country enough. And you know, of course, I do love my country, okay. And I did study with Jehovah's Witnesses when I was younger, which they do not salute the flag. But I always knew that the flag should be respected. You know what I mean? I always had respect for the American flag, which really blew my mind because, you know, I was taking a walk, I don't know, it was maybe like 2 years ago, and somebody was throwing out an American flag. It was in the trash can, right? And I was like going through my mind of flag code etiquette. And even though somebody who grew up in my teenage years thinking, you know, I was considering being a Jehovah's Witness, and at the time I didn't, you know, salute the flag, but I still felt that was kind of wrong. You know what I mean? And maybe it's because obviously I do understand this is our country. You know, I mean, this is where we live. You know what I mean? If anything, you should at least have respect for the fact that this is your home. This is your home. You know, so when I see people like throwing shit like, you know, things like the American flag is trash. It's like, oh my God, what are you doing? You know, it's fun, you know, because I understand that things have a symbolic meaning. It's like, well, you know, it's like, you know, like in the world of the occult, okay, like attracts like. So when you throw something that represents your country in the trash, you know, you might be giving it some sort of bad energy. You know what I mean? So I respect my country, so I would never do that. And I would dispose of the flag according to the flag principle. That's just how I am. Okay. But anyway, no, as far as me being into politics, no, no, I can't see myself in that little political arena. I can't see myself doing something like that. But I'm very grateful that people have that high image of me. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I'm getting a little tired and a little hungry too. So I'm going to be back with another video sometime later. Take care. Bye-bye.